Welcome back, everybody, to the Pitfalls of Record and Playback session number 2. We are going to be picking up where we left off from session number 1 and continuing to automate our manual test cases. And I will be continuing about the topic to show you why record and playback is not a good solution and how you should avoid it at all costs if you really want to be an expert and a real professional as an automation engineer. Thank you guys for tuning in and taking the time. So let's move on. Let me do a quick recap of what we did last session. Let me open up my spreadsheet here with our test cases. And so this is what we recorded, was this test case right here. We opened up the application, which was through this statement, which was through this statement right here. And I think I really did an extensive job explaining this to you guys, so hopefully everyone understands the system.util.run statement. And also, as we go through, I'm gonna type in the input parameters. Input parameters is what we used for our test case, the data. Okay, I'm going to put it in here, and you will see in the future, actually, I will use this data to create a full framework for you from the beginning all the way to the end. And hopefully that will show you guys the ultimate way to do automation, which is framework automation. But don't get ahead of ourselves. We're just beginning here, and the framework will take all the knowledge that we acquire through all of these videos to finish. So keep a lookout for that video. It will be amazing, and I can't wait to do it for you guys. But anyways, so let me put in the input parameters here, what we used to open the application, which was iexplore.exe. And as we remember, that's a process name for Internet Explorer. And then I'm going to separate it with a comma, and I'm going to put the application URL. Okay, put that in here, and let's give a description so that everybody knows what these parameters mean. And again, guys, bear with me. There's so much to QTP that I can't describe everything or explain everything in one video, and it will all come in parts. And if you follow me, you guys will be experts in no time. So anyways, this is the browser process, and this is the application URL. Okay, let's continue. Then we click the register link, which was over here, and there is no input parameters there because we didn't insert any data. We filled out some contact information, which was first name, last name over here, phone number. Here's the contact information. Let me comment that here. Contact information. And guys, if you feel lost, just remember all the scripts and notes will be available on the website, qtptutorial.net. So fill out contact information, okay, which is over here. So let's go ahead and insert that data. First name, we used test. Then last name, we used user. And then we did that phone number. Input parameters test, comma, user, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 was the phone number. Let's go ahead and describe. This description, guys, is just for our reference. So when I go back here, or anybody goes back here, you can see, oh, okay, test means that it's the first name. Last name, phone number, phone. Okay? Next steps we did was we filled out some mailing. Oops, sorry. Placed it in the wrong place. Let me copy it. Paste it here. Clear this. There you go. No input data for register link. Nothing. Let's fill out mailing information. that we did down here. Oh, mailing information. Okay, mailing information is right here. Mailing information. And remember all, it's very important to comment. One way to separate a professional from a beginner is how much commenting you do, because commenting is very useful not only for yourself in the future when you have to maintain the scripts, and you will spend tons of time maintaining the scripts, and it's also useful for all of your teammates if you will have any, because they can easily go back and read your comments and understand what's going on. So here we're filling out mailing information, okay? So make a good habit of writing comments, guys. The more comments, the better. It's very hard to go overboard with comments. So we did the address, city, state, postal code, and email. Let's go ahead and enter that in there. Our address was 123 test, then city, then state. 123 test, then city, then state. Then we got 12345 and email. 12345 and then email. So let's again describe these input parameters. We got the address, we got the city, we got the state, we got zip code, and we got email. Okay? Then we recorded the process of filling out new user information, and that we did right here. Out new user information. Okay? So we put in username, we put in the password, we confirmed the password, and then we clicked register. So let's go ahead and grab this. And then let's grab the password. Remember our set secure password, which has been encrypted automatically by QTP. And yes, we can use it. And yes, it's very useful. Because now, I mean, I don't have a problem showing you guys the password, which was this, because this is just a test application. But imagine if it was your real application and it was a personal password. You don't want to show it to everybody. So you can use this. Okay? And I know that this one is different from this one, but it's okay because it was encrypted 2 times. So we can just go ahead, copy and paste this here, and then it will be the same value either way. Okay? And let me put a comma here and paste that again. Okay. So that's a very long line because it's confirmed, because it's a set secure. 1 second, let me expand everything. Okay, so what do we got here? Username, password, password. Okay? In fact, let me do confirm password. Much more clear, right? Good. Expand this. And now let's go ahead and save, just to not lose everything. And then finally we close the browser, which we did here. Right here. Browser IE, close all tabs. And if you're just jumping into this video, you may have missed my explanation about how I will explain to you guys this expert view here, along with making you guys experts in object identification. That video is coming up shortly as well. So just bear with me, because like I said, there's so much to QTP and I can't show you everything in one video. And I don't want to leave anything out for you guys here because this is one video that's so important. Okay? So let me go ahead and save this. Okay. So for the next part, we are going to do test case number 2. We're going to record this. We're going to open application, click sign on link, enter username and password and submit. Check for the correct page and then close the browser. we're going to record this, okay? And what I'm going to do here is going to be something a little bit different because I want to show you guys why record and playback is so dangerous. So I'm going to record this in the same script because I want to show you guys something in the object repository. But for our purposes, imagine this is a separate script being recorded. Yes, I can go ahead and open up a new script and record it there, but then it will be much harder for me to show you the purpose of this whole presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment all this. And remember, comment is Control M, but I'm just going to use this bubble up here. And we're going to record a new script. So let me just give a few comments, script, and then purpose. And again, remember, all these scripts will be available online in much more detailed format with notes for your easy convenience so that you can easily follow here along with me. I just don't want to waste your time with all these comments here. So anyways, this script, what are we going to call it? Let's see. It's going to be sign on as a registered user. And remember, guys, it's just for demonstration purposes. Demonstration. It's recorded in the same script. But really, our end result is to have 3 scripts, right? 3 test cases, 3 scripts recorded. That's how it usually works, record and run. Okay? So let's go ahead and let me bring this up. So we're going to click, bring up the application, and just quickly see what we're going to do. So we opened up the application. We're going to click on sign on link, which is here. And then we're going to need to enter username, password, and click the submit button, and then close the browser and make sure that we landed on the right page. Okay? Sounds good enough. Let's go ahead and do it. Let me open up the object repository for you guys. Remember, it already has some objects from the last script, and that's exactly why I wanted it here, so I can show you guys. And then let's go ahead and use our first statement that I taught you in part 1 of this video. System util.run. File is iexplore.exe. And then we need the application path, which I will grab from up here. Okay? Like this. Okay? So now, once we run this, we can go ahead and start recording. Let me push the record button, guys, up here. Remember, F3 to record. And it's recording, but let me just shift some things around so that it's easier for you to view everything. Like this. And then I want to show you the application. So remember, because everything is commented, QTP is going to ignore everything except this one line. Oh, so let me actually stop the recording and open the application with our one statement by clicking run or F5. We get this dialog window that comes up, stored in temp results, click OK. Boom, application came up. Now we can go ahead and start recording. Let me make it a bit smaller. Pull up the application so you can see. First thing we need to do, I'm going to put the cursor in the right place. Very important. And then click on the sign on link, right? Did you guys see that? So we got sign on link right there. Sign on link appeared in the object repository. Okay. Next, we need to set the username. And this is already a registered user. So we need to do the same name that we used before for our previous test case, which was test user 1. Okay. And then we need to set the password. Oh, wait. And did you guys see, because I did that, This line of code was inserted up here because I left the cursor there. So we can easily move this just by highlighting it and cutting it and then pasting it. Okay? And let me continue from here. Now, test user, and the password was also test user 1. And we're going to hit the submit button. Well, yes. So now let's see what happened. So we got more objects here. Password object, a username object, and a login object, along with our expert view showing the same code. So now we clicked on sign on. So let's go ahead and see what happened. We got 3 objects here: login, password, and username under this page, under this browser. And we got those 3 lines of code per object, and we're doing some action to them. Okay, but one thing that I did notice, guys, was that we were not able to log in. Look, the application took us back to this page. And this is actually very cool because I know after trying it several times that the application is not working properly right now. That if I enter a username and password after registration, that it's not going to let me log in. So it's good because you guys get to see what happens when there is a bug in the application. Now, I'm not sure why this is occurring because obviously I'm not working on this Mercury Tours project and it's just a sample application. But as a result, we have to deal with it. So if you were in the real environment and this happened and you knew that your application before logged in, which I know that this application did allow me to log in, what we would do now is we would log a bug. We would speak to one of the testers about this, see if anybody knows about this issue, and then if not, then we would go ahead and log a bug, probably in HP ALM, if that's the bug tracking system that you have installed. But anyways, one other consequence as a result of this is we're not going to be able to do our 3rd test case, which is a little disappointing, but it's okay. We have to deal with it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from here. And I'm going to remove it from here. We'll only get through 2, but it's fine. I still think I will be able to make my points. Let me just make sure I save this. And one other thing we have to change in our test case is check for the correct page. We know that this is going to fail. So we're just going to enter username, password, and submit. And then we're going to close the browser, because we already know it's failing. But this is just for demonstration purposes that I want to show this to you guys, so we don't have to worry about doing everything correctly. Okay, so back to our script. We got these objects and we got this code. Now, let's go ahead and try to run this to make sure that it works. Okay? So let me look, the browser's open. So now I have to go ahead and close it. And let me put a breakpoint right here, just so we can see QTP moves so fast that I want you guys to see what's going on. And remember, everything is commented up here, and I can just push run or F5. Then we get this dialog box that comes up and is going to open up the application. It entered username and password, and it actually even hit submit. Okay? So I hope you guys saw that. I know it was really fast, but QTP did it for us. Okay? So now we finally get to the meat of the subject. I'll get to show you guys why a record and playback is so inefficient and why you should never use it. Let me open up the test cases. Now, you guys can see here, we only have 2. But imagine, in the real world, you're not going to have 2, you're going to have thousands. Hundreds to thousands, okay? If you're just beginning, sure, you may have 2, but it'll never be only 2 for the rest of your career. You'll always get more. Always get more and more test cases. Now let's look at these 2 test cases. In this one, we're opening the application with these parameters, right? And what about in this one? We're also opening the application with the same parameters. In fact, let me go ahead and copy these and paste them right here. So look at this, guys. This is a redundancy right here, right? What else can we see? We go through this. It all looks different from this one. But then we also get to this part where we close the browser here and we close the browser here. It's the same exact step for the same exact application. Okay? And if you look at our code, we can even see this. Let me get the repository out of the way for now. We use this statement one time here and this statement one time here. Same statement. And actually, I didn't close the browser for you guys. So let me go ahead and do that and close the browser for you guys. And the way we would do that is just by copying the statement. And I'll just paste it there, because this will close IE browser. Okay? So, looking at the code again, remember we did the same statement here and here, and then we repeated that statement here and here. So we did one action 2 times per script. So think about if you had thousands and you had to record all of your scripts. You would have this and this repeating in all of your single scripts. And it's called duplication of effort. This is a huge problem. So let's list that out. Problems with record and playback. Duplication of effort. This means you will record the same part of the application and test case over and over. What's the consequence of this? Is that you waste a lot of time. And wasting time is not something that you want to do as an automation engineer. You want to spend all of your time developing and maintaining your scripts. That's where you're going to be getting most of your money. Nobody wants to pay you for repeating the same steps over and over. Okay? So that's one issue. In fact, let's look at the repository as well. Let me just expand it a little bit. So notice also, as I was recording, how many pages I got. We only visited 3 pages, right? Let me open up the application for you guys. So we visited 3 pages, right? We went to this page, which is the home page. And let's see, in our application, if I highlight it, that's this page. Okay. Then we also went to the register page and the sign-on page. So 3 pages. And through our record and run, somehow we got 4 pages. Do you see that? Because through a record and run, QTP chooses how to organize your pages for you. So let me see if I can highlight this one. I can. Okay. And welcome, sign on. So let's see we can see the discrepancy, right? Let me show you. When we first enter the application, we're here, right? Which is this page where we can click sign on or we can click register. But do you see, guys, how QTP separated it into 2 different pages called under 2 different things? It's very inconvenient, right? Because now you have 2 different objects for one single thing. For one page, you have 2 different objects. Again, duplication of effort. Because if I was to take this and place it here, okay, it would still show me the right object, right? And the register is also on that page. But, awesome, another problem. Did you guys see that? QTP recorded this, right? And what it did when it recorded was it added some properties for this link, for actually it's an image at this point, to the object repository, which are image button as image type and input as HTML tag. But these properties were not enough to identify the object. So if I'm to rerun the script, it's not going to work. That's why record and run is not as simple as you think. It's not just recording and running, because I promise you that if I run the script right now, it's not going to work. And we can try again. Let's see. If I want to add this register from the application, at the time when I recorded, let's record so that you guys can see. Okay? I'm going to place the cursor right here, just as a single line, and we're going to record again. Okay? And we're going to try to click on the register link. Did you guys see that? Now, it put it as a separate page, and again, it's an extra object for the page, for our one home page. Okay? I hope you guys are seeing the problem here, how confusing it can be, because we all know what's going on right now. But if you were to hop in here and try to figure it out without ever seeing the object repository or the application, it would be big problems for you and your teammates. Okay, so let me actually remove this because QTP can't recognize it. Look, if I highlight in, let me stop the recording first, sorry. If I highlight in the application, wow, did you guys see that? If I highlight in the application, this is what it gets me. And it's because this object right here matches this description. Okay? And why does that object match that? Because really, that is the object for this. Do you guys see how confusing that is? This register and this register, although we just recorded everything, we had no idea what goes where. Now we know that this register belongs to the home page, and in fact, let's go ahead and change it. Another problem with record and run in that, look, there's so many pages and I have no idea what goes where. I'm going to name this home. Okay? And I'm going to name this as register. Okay? Now we have a home page and a register page. I think it's a little bit more clear. And now we know that the sign-on link, which if I highlight right now, it should be at the home page. Okay? Right here, because that's where we start with all of our options. And this registration page should have all the register stuff, such as the address, awesome, city, and so on and so forth. But look what else is weird, is that the first name, last name, and phone number all got put under a different page during our recording process. So again, QTP chooses how it wants to organize these objects. And so during a record and run, if you were to do a 100-line script, can you imagine having like 100 objects in here? How confused you're going to be at what the heck is going on when you're trying to replay back your script and it's not working. So let me reorganize everything right now and move all these objects in here. Last name, phone, and username. And I'm going to delete this. Okay? So now look, we have 3 pages. The home, the registration, and the sign-on, which I'm also going to rename. That's just a sign-on. It's obvious that it's for the Mercury Tours application. Okay? And now, all of the objects are clear where they belong, because all of these objects are under one page. This is our registration, this is our sign-on, and this is just the home page where we navigate from here. Do you guys see how much more organized that is? I hope you get the point. So, problem number 2. QTP chooses how it wants to organize the objects. This means that going back to debug will be extremely tough if the application is not developed in an intuitive manner. I missed an I. Okay? Do you guys, I hope that I made it clear to you guys why that would be so complicated, right? Okay, so we got duplication of effort and mass confusion for scripts. Now, we did this only for 2 test cases, guys. Think in big numbers. How much effort that's going to cost you. How many hours, days, and weeks you're going to spend if you don't organize everything properly. I want to make it absolutely clear to you guys. As an efficient automation engineer or test script developer, whatever you want to call yourself, your job is to develop test cases and scripts and make sure that they work. That's where your money time is. The more efficient you can be at that, the better you will be at your job. So avoiding little mishaps like this will help you in that aspect. Okay? Let me get back to the final point about problems with record and playback, in that it's very linear. Meaning that all you do is go line by line of recording a script. But let me write this out. Line by line of script recording. Okay? If something along the way breaks, it may be very hard to figure out where it broke, because you have to find that exact spot in the script where to fix it. So for example, for our test cases, let's look at the code rather than the Excel spreadsheet. If our URL changed, which happens so often, let's say you have multiple environments and they're being released to different environments. What happens when the URL changes? And we have 100 scripts that have this statement in there. You have to go in and change it 100 times per each script. If you have 1,000, you have to go in and change for 1,000. For such a simple change, you have to do so much work. And you guys won't believe, but I've seen this happen so often, and it's so crazy to me how much time people spend with such silly tasks. And I want to help you avoid this. So that's why I'm telling you, just listen to me. Don't record and run. Just forget about it. That option doesn't really exist. There's much better ways, much more efficient ways that may take a little bit more time in the beginning, but it will save you so much time in the long run. And unless you're planning to be an automation engineer for 1 month and record 100 scripts, there's going to be no use for you to do record and run. Okay? So, you may be asking now, okay, I get it. So, what's the solution? Well, let me help you and explain it for you. Very linear makes debugging and maintenance extremely tough. Okay, so some solutions. The main one is what's called modularization. Okay, don't freak out. I'll teach you guys exactly what it means. And what it means is splitting repeatable reusable steps into small actions. You guys may have heard of this. It may also be referred to as units. This is what a lot of developers do. They do unit testing because they develop small units of code, small pieces of code, and then they test them. You are going to do a similar thing, modularization or units. So for example, you're going to create something like enter username, enter password, click login. Is it possible that you're going to do this a lot through the application? Yes. So you need to notice this pattern and put it into a unit and maybe call this unit login. Okay? Login. And anytime you need to log in, you need to perform these 3 steps. And all you have to do is refer back to this unit and it will handle this for you. Let me give you guys an example from our application. So we have this step where we do this 2 times, right? So let me actually design a quick function for us so that you can see what a unit is. I'm going to copy all this and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay? And let me remove this because this is just an example for you guys if you remember. And I'm going to comment all of this as well. And here we will begin modularization. This is the answer, guys. And this will actually help lead you into development of frameworks, which of course you can look forward to the video which I will develop in the future. But that's way ahead when you guys have a lot more knowledge. So let's continue. One other thing you may not have noticed is that every time before you run the statement, you need to close the browser because QTP may get confused at your browser. So for example, if I have this one and let me open another one, okay, I'm going to open the application in here as well. And let me go to google.com here. Okay. So now let's try to recognize one of our objects. For example, let's try to recognize the home page. Actually, let's try to recognize the register link, address link. No, because we should be here. Yeah, so we can recognize the register link on the home page. Okay? It should be this one. Let's highlight it. Do you guys see that? The selected object cannot be found in the application. And why is this? Well, it's because there are 2 Internet Explorer browsers. And remember that we need a unique object to be able to identify it. If you guys are just starting off in this video, I will create a special video for everyone on object recognition and identification. And in there, I'll make you guys masters of this. But just for the purposes of this video, I can't cover that topic here just to save you time. So, okay, it doesn't work because there's 2 browsers open. And so for this to work, what you have to do is you have to close one. And I'm going to close this one. And now let's try to highlight again. I was highlighting the register link. And now it worked. Do you guys see that? Because there's only one browser, QTP is not confused of where to look. And I was doing this manually. But now, think, if you have to do that manually for every single test case, how many times you're going to have to do it if you have 1,000 test cases, right? So I'm going to add another line of code to prevent myself from doing this every single time. And again, it's using system-util statement. But now, instead of running, we can look. This is called an Intellisense. We can look at all the statements. And we have one that says close process by name. And again, if you want to check out what it does, all you have to do is just highlight it, push the F1 button, and you're going to get QTP's extensive help menu. And you can browse and read everything in here. I highly recommend it. Okay? Anyways, we're going to close process by name. And what's the process that we're going to close? Well, it's going to be Internet Explorer. So now, every time we run this line, if Internet Explorer is open, it's going to get closed. And then we can proceed and QTP is not going to get confused, okay? And that's it. So now let's make this into a unit, guys. I'm going to write function and push space. And now this comes up and I'm going to go down 2 times. And then I'm going to give this function a name. Function open application. Okay? Now, some of you guys may be freaking out because you have no idea what's going on now. But don't worry. I will create a special video just for functions and helping you guys how to learn it. But right now, just bear with me while I explain everything to you. And as you progress with me through all the videos, you guys will become masters. Don't worry. You just in the meantime, copy what I do and use it. And you will get everything at one point, I promise. Now, I want to pass 2 parameters to this function. I'm going to call these parameters str browser and str URL. Okay? I'm going to replace this here, and then URL is going to be this. Sorry, let me get the repository out of the way. Here's the URL. Okay? Now, let me show you the beauty of this. Of this single 4-line statement. I can now use it over and over again with just 1 line. By doing something like this. Remove the parentheses. And then what's our URL? It is this. Let me copy it. Paste it here. Okay? Now let's see what happens when I run this 1 line of code. Remember, I already have 1 application open, right? So let me just push run. We get this dialog box like always. Push OK. Give it a second while it's running. And something broke. So we see that something is going on with this application, which is okay. No problem. But it closed our previous browser and it tried to open this page. Okay? Which is broken, as we can see. But now, anytime I want to open any application, all I have to do is pass it a browser process and a link. As such, let me comment this and let's see what happens when I run it. Let me bring the application here. Let me make QTP a bit smaller and let's run it. Push OK. It's going to close that and then it's going to open up a new browser with google.com as our page. There it is. You guys see that? How awesome it is? And I only had to do that 1 time. Also, the other advantage is there's no object repository. So I can take this function now and use it for every single one of my applications. Forever and ever. As long as QTP exists, that is, and as long as VB-script is valid, obviously. Okay? I hope this is clear for you guys. And now, wow. I just looked at the time and we are approaching almost another hour into this video. I can't believe how detailed this is getting. This is crazy. Well, guys, I'm definitely going to have to create a 3rd version for you. And we will pick back up everything in there. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for taking another hour of your day to watch one of my videos. I hope it was at least helpful, and please, any feedback is always welcome. Just go ahead and drop me a comment here on the YouTube videos or come on my site at qtptutorial.net. I'll see you guys in the next session, session 3.